There's also a plastic jar that people are throwing cash in. A novel idea. I've never heard of such a thing. Why doesn't everybody try doing that on the way out? Be generous. This ministry is totally donor supported. Meaning, I kidnap people. They wake up in hotel rooms and bathtubs, and I.
It looks to me like there's a little.
Get it? Donor.
Sweat equity.
Kidney donor. It's totally kidney donor supported.
Kidney donor.
I'm sorry. It was really tacky. But really, I have like 8,000 pages of notes of what I'm going to say tonight. But the good news is well,
you only have 2 pages.
It's nothing compared to what I'm really going to do. But I do want to say one thing. I do want to say one thing. A lot of people gave me a lot of shit about the new record, and I was really nervous about tonight. And they didn't even show up. Everyone go boo. And it seemed like most of you kind of got the joke of some of it. Everyone go yay. Yay. My gosh, what? Artists want it both ways. We want to be polarizing and we want everyone to love us. That's how it works. And I love my new record. I've had a horrible 2 years. It's taken me 2 years to get to it. I'm very, very, very happy. I don't drive around listening to it, but I'm really glad I did it. And Tears Are Falling is a Kiss song, and I've always wanted to do a Kiss song, and I finally got to do one, and I'm really happy. And Fleetwood Mac is the new Kiss, so well, they're aging better, that's for sure. I didn't know that was funny till I said it out loud. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I guess I just want to say this. Did you ever see Passion of the Christ? You know, the Mel Gibson horror movie? Yeah. You know, the grindhouse feature that has a grown man in a leotard getting pummeled for 2.5 hours with absolutely no storyline. I remember back in the 70s when I was, of course, breastfeeding at the time, going to the drive-ins and seeing movies like that. They were called things like Toolbox Murders or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I remember when I went to go see Passion of the Christ, and I want to say this. I want to say this. I don't mean any offense to people who like the movie, but hear me out on this. I only saw it once. I saw it the day it opened, and I've never seen it since. I just want to say this. Would you let your 3-year-old watch it? No. Okay. If I have stickers all over me. I'm feeling something on my butt. There's a sticker. I felt like this tug on my jeans, and there's like a, what did it say? What did it say? Oh, it says love. Love butt. So, but I don't want to be under here. I want to be over here. I'm not used to this. But the Passion of the Christ was very effective. And I'm not going to talk about Passion of the Christ all night. They did teach me one thing I did not know, but I'm not going to talk about that tonight. But I am going to say this, is that I see a lot of horror movies, and I love horror movies. In fact, I saw one today. But if I said, Jesus is glorified in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1972, people would probably think, he's probably off on his game. Well, there was less violence in Texas Chainsaw Massacre than there was in Passion of the Christ. I want to put this another way. You have to go to a Hostel movie to have the level of violence that is in Passion of the Christ. Okay? I was going to say maybe a Quentin Tarantino movie, but it's so tongue-in-cheek that no matter how violent it is, you kind of like take it in because you're having so much fun. Not in Passion of the Christ. There's context in horror movies. Dumb girl has sex with dumb boy. Dumb girl says, I'll be right back. Goes somewhere to freshen up her dumb face, and then drill a killer kills her. That's context. Passion of the Christ has none. There's very little story to Passion of the Christ. So if you don't know the story, you're not going to understand the movie, and you're just going to watch 2 hours of senseless violence. Because it makes no sense. That's all I want to say about that. Tonight I just wanted to talk briefly, which means I'm going to go on and on and on, about Christian expression. And I'm not talking about the dumb things people say and do. I'm talking about the artists, the ones born wired a little different, that feel they have something to give to the body of Christ, which is their talent, which we didn't pick. Because I'd be a dancer, damn it. And we don't pick this. But we're born with whatever talents we have, and they come together however they want. And then we are either born in Christian homes, or in my case, we convert, and everybody makes us feel like shit. Forever. Because it is impossible for the average American Christian to hear you're an artist, see you're an artist, hear a song, see a picture, see this, see that, without saying something that you really wish they wouldn't say. It's just next to impossible. Dresses in combat boots for years, brother. I know. You're doing what? No, I didn't mean to single him out. He just did Lacage. It's okay. Yeah, he didn't even understand the joke I was making at his expense. Wow. Good thing you're handsome, brother, because woo! Okay. His first time here, he doesn't know that he's just like asking for it by being in the room. I'll be good, man. I love you, man. But seriously, I'm old enough to remember B.J. Thomas. Mr. Raindrops Keep Falling in My Head. And I remember he had all these gospel records out, and then he did a secular concert and people yelled out at him and he broke down crying. Yep. I had the good fortune of interviewing him when I was working as a journalist, and I brought that up. And he said, "Can I answer this off the record?" I said, "Absolutely." Are you getting this? Okay. He said, "Christians can be so fucking stupid and so fucking mean, and it completely derailed my life, the way I was treated by the body of Christ. And it took all the fun out of using the gifts God gave to me." And I politely said, "Well, they weren't that great to begin with, brother, but I hear your point now." You've all heard the way I sing. Obviously, I like me some BJ. So, there's a sound bite I'm not going to live down anytime soon. My gosh, Christians laughing at that joke. Gutter mine, gutter mine, gutter mine, gutter mine, gutter mine, gutter mine. Anyways. I just derailed my whole night by that. All right. Moving on, not knowing where, maybe I better look at my notes because apparently the train can't drive itself.
Yep.
I know a very famous movie director that I can't quote, but he did, I can't say who it was, but he said when the whole Last Temptation of Christ thing happened, he said, "You know what's so interesting about this? Christians are so quick to pounce on stuff, but the thing they're quickest to do most is pounce on themselves. That Christians are the fastest group of people on the planet to turn on themselves, to turn on someone." So if, I don't remember what his name was, but he was caught in adultery back in the 80s or 90s. I know someone will say,
Jim Baker?
What?
You're talking about the director?
Roman Polanski, a Christian gospel singer.
Better to say who wasn't caught.
Jim Baker, Jim Slater.
No, a singer. Okay, we're taking too much time. We're all lost with me. Get back on the train. It's going nowhere fast. But now Sandy Patty, she still sells records. The wind just changes. There's no Bible. There's no morality. There's nothing. The wind just does whatever the wind just does. You're going to have to sit up front, brother, because that is the only seat left.
Oh, okay.
I hate this man for missing the entire musical portion of this because I was going to single him out and say that this man right here is the singular last straw impetus that I did another piano vocal record. Because he posted on YouTube him doing a song, and he said, "I'm doing this in the style of Paisley Yankolovich." And he sang a song on YouTube, and I went, "Gosh, I'm good." I saw it, God, I'm so good. If this is what I'm like, I'm so good, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So it's his fault I made an album that nobody likes. Give him a round of applause. What do I do? What do I do? Thank you all for coming. Be safe driving home. Okay. I've spent 10 years of my life doing the music ministry I've done up till now. And I tried really, really, really hard to do the stuff Christians would like. And everybody hated me from the start. The first song anybody ever heard was the last song I did, Lord. And I looked around the room and everybody loved it. Everybody who's a Christian in the room thought, oh gosh, it's so heartfelt and this is so from his heart and so real and blah, blah. People said it sucked. People said it sucked. You know why? Because they are not the keepers of the truth. They're the keepers of whatever piece of the pie they're hogging. And they make their decisions not based on the voice of God, but they make their decisions based on their ego. And anyone who's in Christian music knows this. When time and time again, they're doing shows and they're doing these songs and people are coming to Jesus and crying their eyes out and contacting them and doing all this, and then all the people who are in charge say, this isn't good. And you're like, I'm sorry, I sang it last night. And 25 people walked up during the altar call. Yeah, this song sucks. You know, and so I've spent my entire Christian walk feeling bad about myself. Feeling bad about myself. And I don't know what happened, but over the last couple years, I don't feel bad about being a Christian anymore. I'm starting to feel really good about it. I've always had a great relationship with the Lord. Anyone who knows me knows how I've been and what it's been like. But I realize I'm part of a group, not by choice. It's not my fault that following Jesus makes me a Christian. It's just a byproduct. I can't control what the majority of Christians are like. I can't control what they're like. But for some reason I've learned only recently to stop comparing myself and judging myself and taking in their judgment of me, because I realize just by what I said that so many people gave me shit about the new record that didn't even show up tonight. They're cowards. They're cowards, they're armchair critics. They're just monkeys flinging shit. They have no value. They're not here. I'm being filmed and I'm posting this on Facebook. They have no value. They're not even here. So why are they contacting me? Why are they protesting? Why are they saying anything? Because that's what they do. Monkeys fling shit. That's it. Right? You don't look at a monkey cage and go, I'm a bad person because they're flinging shit at me. You look at a monkey and go, oh, that's what monkeys do. Monkeys. Monkeys. I'll call this sermon Christian Monkeys. All right. No, I don't have a root of bitterness in me. I have a ton. But I'm just mad at myself. I'm mad at myself that I bought into that. I'm mad at myself that I gave this a second thought. I'm mad at myself that I gave it a second thought. I'll forgive myself the first thought, but the second thought. The most powerful way to expose darkness is to demonstrate it. Is to communicate it. That's why we have the arts in the first place. Arts either lift us up or bring us down, but they mirror back our experience. And maybe it's not your experience, but it's somebody's experience. And I'm watching a bunch of armchair Christians just shining their light in people's faces with pithy phrases and misinterpret scripture. And I'm not even saying well-meaningness, because it's not. It's abuse. It's unkind. It's unkind. When I posted my House of Memories video on Facebook, someone mentioned the sunlight breaking in through the darkness on the side of my face. A flashlight. I filmed it in the dark with a flashlight. Look up Eraserhead. Look up German Expressionistic Cinema, then go look at all my new videos. I went for a particular look. I have a big old Eraserhead afro going on, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted the videos to look like, and I was playing around with lighting, and I had a flashlight, and I turned it on me, and I filmed it, and I go, all right, we'll do that. I didn't think about the light of Jesus coming into my House of Memories. I was singing one of the greatest songs in history, and trying to do the best I could, and trying to make a really cool looking video. I guess I'm just not that smart or spiritual as to what people project, but all life is an ongoing series of projection, perception, and rumor. I've read so much about me in the last month because of the new record. For people who know me, I'm amazed. If they know me and they're not in this room right now and they're in this town, then they know they don't know me after tonight. Seriously. Seriously. The energy that goes into placating Christians who have a bug up their butt over nothing. Enough already. Unless you're writing checks. If you're writing checks, you can say whatever you want to me, and I'll just say, yes, thank you very much. But everyone else, no. Remember, it says if they're living in your head and they're not paying rent, if they're living in your head and they're paying rent, they get to stay. That's the rule. Got to be accountable to someone. Please the constituents. Everyone else. So that having been said, every single person on planet Earth creates. I remember when I was a kid and Patti Smith was everything I lived for, and I remember when she did her version of So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, and in the part where she broke off and she spoke and did her Patti Smith poetry to rock music, and she said, this is the era where everybody creates. How prophetic. Because this is the era. This is the era where everybody can be stand-up comics on their Facebook. They can be preachers on their Facebook. They can make their own really amazing videos and post them on Facebook. And you know what I'm saying? They can have an entire career by virtually doing everything themselves, when decades ago people like me were begging for record deals. Now you don't need one. I don't need one. I've moved over 3 million records. How many indie artists can say that? I mean, let's be fair. If I'm bragging, I mean, if it sounds like I'm bragging, I'm bragging. I'm bragging. I'm bragging on Jesus. Jesus allowed me to be alive in a time where technology matched my ability and my gifts in a way that I could do something that I couldn't have done a decade before. That's a fact. This ministry started the same week we started getting our email addresses. We've all started having email. So I remember I couldn't book my first show. This was like 12, 13 years ago. I couldn't book my first show because my website wasn't up yet. And the pastor of the church said, I'd take you more serious pays if you had a website. And I go, we're working on it. I had to pay the guy like hundreds of dollars to get it up that night, to stay up all night with me on the phone until we had a website. That's a really good website. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. But all I've seen for the past years is no, 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 no. You can't do this. No, 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 no. That's not good. No, no, no. There's not enough Jesus in it. My gosh. Anyone in the room concerned if I'm a Christian or not right now? Oh my gosh. 5 minutes with me, enough is enough. I mean, seriously, do I have to carry around a cross? It's been done. It's been done. Some of us are old enough. Did you ever see him in person, Arthur Blessed? I saw him in person. He carried around a big wooden cross, man. It's been done. He walked across America with a big wooden cross. I explained to him when I saw it, just between us, it's been done. But every single human being creates. Every person has this creative possibility. Everybody has something they like to do. Everyone has something they do their own way. And everybody has someone criticizing them for it. Everybody has someone criticizing them for it. I think it's time that we start separating the sheep and the goats. That if someone is in our life and they claim to be a believer, how about if I really paraphrase this just so we're all on the exact same page? If they claim to love us and be our friend, they need to be a supporter and an admirer. Period. What's the point? My gosh. Anyone who knows me knows that to get the creative process out of me, no one's going to beat me up more than me. Is that true for you too as an artist? Do you need my criticism? Absolutely not. You know what you need? You need my encouragement. Because the only way you're going to get better, and you're awesome, and you know I love what you do. And Wyatt Albin on YouTube. I expect to see a shitload of hits on my videos tonight, but you can give him a couple. Okay. No, but gosh, the best way to take someone who's bad at something is encourage them. You've seen the memes that say, I would really, God make me the man my dog thinks I am. It's the same theory. It's God make me the man that the person who's complimenting me thinks I'm not that good. I'm not that good. Well, maybe if I'm not that good, maybe I should get that good because somebody believes in me. Somebody believes in me, my gosh. You know who believes in me? Jesus. You know how I know? He tells me so every single second of my life. Do you know that I have never once doubted how he feels about me? I stood over my dead son's body and I didn't think for a second God had abandoned me. I've never said that to him about what happened. And I've said a lot on the subject to him about it. But the one thing I know is that no Christian, good or bad or in between, saved me. No Christian caused me to convert. No Christian caused me to repent. No Christian brought me my deliverance. No Christian gave me my talent. No Christian gave me my talent. But I was there for my conversion. I was there when I repented. I was there for my deliverance. I was there when I was filled with the Spirit. I was there when God gave me my ministry. And I was here recording my record, bouncing across my house of memories that has my son's ashes in the room I'm recording in a great mood. And anyone who's been around me for the last 2 years knows that doesn't happen much. That God gave me a skip in my walk. God gave me my music back, and I like it. I like the new record. I'm sorry, I actually like one of my own records. It's been a while, but I do. I don't want to marry it, but at least I'm not embarrassed to hand it out. But I am absolutely convinced I'm special. Absolutely convinced of it. Gosh, that makes people mad. Gosh, that rubs people the wrong way. You look at someone and just say, I'm awesome, dude. I'm so awesome, you can't stand it. They just love that. People hate it because they don't understand what you're saying. I'm awesome and you're awesome. There's enough room at my top for all humanity to be awesome. I am not competitive with anyone. I'm not competitive. I thought about that with you. I don't mean to keep talking about him, but you're doing the piano vocal and staring into the camera thing, and I did that on my videos, and I thought, you know, it's weird because now, we're in the same little niche for a minute, and I thought, I'm going to like tell everybody how great he was, and if you watch my video on YouTube, it's called On Down. It's basically all the liner stuff that you'd put on a record if you had a booklet. And it really talks about what he did and how much it influenced me and why the timing was so important and precious. And he has no idea I was going to do this to him tonight. But I thought about it. I go, my gosh, we're both piano guys. We're both singing, and we both have gravelly voices, and we're both really good looking, aren't we? There may be one more wave of laughter for that. I'll wait. But I thought about it. I go, I'm not competitive with anyone. I've never. Tony back there is a musical genius. That's why he's allowed to be my friend, despite his personality. And I was introduced to him from someone who said, there's somebody who's weird, kind of like you, Paisley, and I listened to his record, and I don't feel competitive. Karen's doing First Cut is the Deepest, and I didn't know that. I don't feel competitive. It's a great song. You do it, I'll kick your ass. But I'm saying I don't feel competitive with anyone. I'm competitive with myself. I'm competitive with the last record. I just want to do a good job. I want to do something I'm proud of. Because you never know who's going to like what. And I didn't even know half the stuff I said tonight was funny until you laughed. You just don't know. If you don't know you're special, you won't think anyone else is all that special, except people you put above you, and then you let them treat you like crap and walk all over you and totally diminish your self-esteem, and then you hate yourself, and then you basically start hating God. And that's how most people who become Christians walk away from Jesus, because of Christians. Because we make everybody feel bad. I remember I was 19, I had just become a Christian. I was in a college group in LA, and I was talking to someone, and he was really down, and he felt really bad about himself. I go, dude, you're bitching. So he asked for a different partner for the project we were working on, because I said bitching. And he looks at me, and I go, what did I do? And he goes, Christians shouldn't talk like that. I go, Christians shouldn't talk like the way you talk about yourself. If you talked about me the way you just talked about yourself, it'd be a sin. And he goes, well, you shouldn't cuss. And I go, damn right I should. I should do anything to get your attention, because you don't know how bitchin' you are. He goes, stop saying it. I go, what, bitchin'? And he got really mad. And I was like, that's so funny. Back then that was a word, by the way. Californians are laughing.
And it wasn't a cuss either.
We said bitchin' more than we said like, and now all of you go like all the time because of us. That was our gift to you. So I think that we have to stop looking at what other people are doing. There's some scripture about pushing the plow and looking around while you do it, that you're not fit for the plow, because if you're looking at what everyone else is doing, you're going to plow crooked and run over a rabbit or something. And we've heard, those of us who've been in the church have heard this over and over again. But the truth is that we're looking at what other people are doing. We live in a time where the whole world is a fishbowl, but it's fake.